Hi, good morning. Thanks for attending. Thanks to Radio Parts for giving us the time and space today. We've got some special guests. Adrian from Hikvision, Cliff, who I think has temporarily disappeared, yes, and Samuel. So we're going to try and cover a number of topics today. Well, Adrian is, I'm just doing the introduction. And they range from CCTV, intelligent camera systems that have what's called AccuSense technology and colour view technology, intercom systems, facial recognition, completely wireless, very easy to set up security systems, and the interoperability between all three products. So the beautiful thing about Hikvision and this range of products and basically everything that they do, that all connects to the one app. So you've got your security system, you've got your CCTV, you've got your access control, you've got your intercom systems, and even things like four-door access controllers, I think also work through Hike Connect. So you're able to basically manage everything through the one app, and that's kind of been a dream in the industry for as many years as I've been in it, 6 months actually, no, longer than that.
Mars, can I just correct the four-door controllers don't go through
Don't go through the Hike Connect,
but we will,
Okay.
It's something we're looking at,
Sorry. No worries. So I've been dealing pretty much full on with Hikvision now for about 4 years, and as I said in the earlier presentation, it's been nothing but a pleasure working with Hikvision. Adrian's been an incredible support.
Thanks, mate.
Well, you have. And
do you take a credit card? That's all I've
got. Well, no, checks in the mail. I've come into some rather large projects of recent in the last 12 to 18 months. Very large apartment complexes with 400 and 500 intercom screens in each apartment, front door stations, access control, all that sort of thing. And I really haven't had a problem. We've now got a very large project going up in Darwin. It's just the hardware value alone is close to $70,000 of camera, high-end camera equipment. Not a problem. Everything's been going really, really well. And if there is a problem, usually due to human error, Hikvision are on the ground to support us. And it's been a pleasure working with Hikvision over the last 4 years. So on that note, I've done my sales job. I'll hand you over to Adrian. Thanks very much for attending.
Thanks, guys. Guys, I'm a BDM, obviously, at Hikvision. We've got Cliff. I don't know. Cliff is the guy that wasn't here when Mario introduced him earlier. But guys, one thing that we do like to rest our laurels on is our quality of service. Okay, so if you do have any issues, we've got. So firstly, we've got training. Okay, and I've spoken to Daniel about organising some training for you guys if you want it. We do have monthly training on all of our entire product range. So if you want to get involved with that, please let me know. I'll send a link to Daniel and he'll be able to connect you guys from there. Also, one other thing that Mars mentioned was the support. We've got more people in our support team in Victoria and throughout Australia than we have in our our sales team. And to me, this is one of the reasons why I decided to come along to Hikvision, is because I think that the best way to sell is to provide the best support. Okay, now that's support not only to you guys, but it's also, well, obviously to Ness as well, to you guys, as well as your system integrators or your installers. Okay, so if you've got anyone that's got any concerns, we've got a 1300 number that's on our website. I'd give it to you now, but I honestly don't know the number. But just give us a call, and we'll be happy to guide them through whatever the issues they have. Our products are extremely reliable, but when you've got a product that is working well, to be honest, no one talks about it. It's when you've got issues, and what you do with those issues is what makes a difference between providers. So that's something that we hope that we do better than everyone else. So if you have any concerns or anything, feel free to give us a call. I've got my cards there. Obviously, Mario, you hopefully all know. So if you've got any concerns, as I said, give us a call. Thanks, Cliff. Okay, so what we're going to talk about a little bit today is about our latest and greatest range of products. And one thing that we believe that we've got an advantage over every other brand is that we provide a complete solution that includes our surveillance systems, which we've been doing for many years, our intercom systems, our video intercom systems that I've got on my right there, and also our intrusion panels, our alarm panels. Okay, our alarm panels are completely wireless. So if you've got an area where you need to install an alarm panel where you can't run any cables, that's the solution that you're looking for. Okay, and what we've done is we're able to include all of those in the one unified solution. So what we're talking about is one app controls everything: surveillance, alarm, and video intercom or access control. Okay, so what we'll be looking at was we're talking about applications for residential areas, for warehouses, for restricted park areas, or restricted public areas, I should say. So you might have an area where you've got some road works or some sort of works going on within a public area or public arena, and you want to block off that section towards people. We've got a solution for that. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about remote security companies as well. Thanks, Cliff. And again. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, what we're doing is we're tying in, we've got a bit of a delay there, Cliff. We're tying in our CCTV or surveillance systems, our IP cameras and our MVRs with our intercom systems and our AX Pro alarm system. All of them will come through the cloud, and you'll be able to get information. So, and what I mean by information, alerts through your HikConnect app on your mobile phone, as well as giving access to a monitoring centre, which I think is quite unique because we do all of those topics, not just one or two. Okay, full integration. One other thing, guys, I mentioned the cloud. A lot of people start to get nervous with the cloud, even though people don't realise how, if they've got a mobile phone, especially Apple, that they're utilising the cloud to back up all of their information. If anyone is nervous about the cloud, just assure them nothing on the from Hikvision. No information gets stored within the cloud. We've got two servers. One is in the US, the other one is in Singapore, but all we utilize the cloud for is to route to the mobile phone and to route to your monitoring station. It's just a measure of, like a road if you like. There's no information stored on the cloud from any mobile phone or even footage. Nothing is stored on there at all. Go on, Cliff. Okay, I mentioned earlier that we're utilising everything and connecting everything to your mobile app on your smartphone. So what we're doing is we're talking about connecting our alarm system to our HikConnect app. We've got a way of connecting our AI technology cameras through the mobile app, and we're able to utilise the camera as an alarm, if you like, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that a bit later. You'll also be able to connect to your intercom system so that you can not only answer a call, you can also open the door for someone from your mobile app. We had one application not so long ago where we needed an intercom system in an apartment complex that was run for disabled people. I don't know if I'm allowed to call them disabled, but yeah, you know what I mean. And what was happening was if they were incapacitated and couldn't walk to the monitor to answer the door, they just kept their mobile phone with them, talk to the person, and if need be, open the door. Okay, so just little intricacies like that we can add as a value add to the end user. Okay, and also our CCTV solution, again, to our HikConnect app. Go on, Cliff. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about AccuSense technology, which is our artificial intelligence technology or our AI technology. Has anybody ever used AI technology here on CCTVs, on CCTV solutions or anything like that? No? Okay, what it does, it gives us the ability to identify an object, okay? With a standard camera, we can see what's going on in front of them, but if the object is a person walking in front of the camera or a dog walking in front of the camera, it doesn't know. And what we do is, in order to save storage on the actual recorder, what we usually do is we set up the recorder to only work on motion. A lot of you guys will probably already do this all the time, okay? So what it means is when someone walks in front of the camera starts recording, or the NVR starts recording. The camera's always viewing that particular image, but then the NVR starts recording. The problem is, what if if you've got a pet and it's looking at your backyard, or the camera's looking at your backyard, and a pet walks in front of the camera? You don't want there to be hours of footage of your dog walking in the backyard. So what we're able to do is we're able to classify each target. okay? And what that means is if your dog walks in front, it's not going to start recording. So for the end user, what it means is you're able to sit in front of the screen and not look at hours of footage of recording because an incident occurred. It'll go straight to that incident because all that you'll be targeting is either a car or a particular a person or an adult or human being, I should say. Okay, so we're able to detect the difference between a human being and a car, and we're able to record on motion with either or. Okay, we're also able to filter out critical things like rain. Okay, so if it's raining, the camera's not going to start, or the NVR's not going to start recording because there's something moving in front of the camera. If a shadow, you might have a tree and the sun's going behind the shadow, it's not going to trigger the system to start recording. Or even maybe a leaf, or even a pet going in front of the actual, in front of the camera. Okay, go on, Cliff. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a type of AI technology that we call Liveguard. Okay, so remember, AccuSense is able to target specific objects. Okay, we've also got a function called Liveguard, and what that's able to do is it's able to act as an alarm. So it's able to trigger an alarm whenever someone does walk in front of the subject. So we're still recording that subject, but now we're sending an alert, whether it be to our mobile phone, to the Hike Connect app, or to a monitoring company. Okay, and this is one thing that we've been working on for some years, and we think we've got down pat now. Okay, and is working really well. So what that means is we're able to use the camera as a motion detector. We're able to use the camera as a strobe and a siren because the cameras have got both a speaker and a light. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a light in front of both at the bottom of the lens, okay? So it's able to utilize that light to deter the person from continuing to move forward, okay? So what we'll do is we'll create either a, do you guys know what a tripwire is? Just a line that someone walks over. You create a tripwire or an area that someone enters. As soon as that's triggered, bang, it'll send firstly it'll send an alert to your app or your monitoring station. Then it will create an alarm and it can be just a siren sound, or you can have a voice prompt to state something like, you're in a restricted area, please move back, or what have you, okay? So all of these things can be done within the one camera. The same sort of thing that you would rely on for an alarm system, okay, but on a camera itself. Thanks, Cliff. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to be able to trigger to arm and disarm the camera itself, much like a intrusion system or alarm panel. Okay, so there are two ways that we can do that. The first way, again, is by utilizing the Hike Connect app, or alternatively, what you can do is you can connect it to an alarm system and connect your NVR via the input of your alarm system through the output of your, the input of your NVR through the output of your alarm system. Now here, we've got our AX Pro alarm system shown, but it doesn't have to be an AX Pro alarm system. It can be a Ness system, it can be a brand of alarm panel. Okay, so if you are doing that, all you need to do is from the alarm panel, one of the relay outputs from the alarm panel into the input of your NVR, and you're up and running. Okay, you can do things like arming the system while you're away, which is just a standard arm. You can arm the system, where are we? Stay arm, which is a partial arm. So in other words, we might want some cameras to be triggered to be able to be triggered when you've got the system partially armed, and you want some that you maybe have in the house for people to move around, okay? You can also do, obviously, a disarm, and you can do a clear arm. So if you've gone in, and I mentioned this earlier, you're going out, and 2 minutes before you get to your destination, your wife says, oh damn, I forgot my mobile phone, and you've got to do the U-turn and go back to the house, get your mobile phone and come back out again. You don't have to disarm and rearm the system. You can just press a clear arm and it'll just clear that alarm, okay, and leave the system armed. So it just basically saves you a step. Thanks, Cliff. Okay, there are a number of different cameras and a number of different form factors that we have for both AccuSense and Liveguard cameras, okay? So remember, our AccuSense targets particular objects, okay? Liveguard gives it the ability to go and send a trigger, so it works as an alarm system. Okay, so the way that we can identify any AccuSense cameras, and guys, I'm going to be testing you in about 40 minutes, so you've got to memorize all of these part numbers. Okay, just kidding. All right, all you need to do is, if you're using an AccuSense camera, it's the number 6 in front of the G2. Now, G2 means it's generation 2. If you're looking at a camera, or if a client is looking at a camera, always go for a generation 2 because it's a lot more accurate than our generation 1 units that we replaced, which was just before Christmas.
Do you still have generation 1 in stock? Is it all
Very little.
Well, you know the ones you've got in stock was what I've just said. Trust me, you're not going to sell them.
No.
Sorry, mate. No, they are. If you're going to go for the latest and greatest, go for the Gen 2. Okay? So the 6 identifies that it's an AccuSense camera, and if you want a system with, or a camera with, the Liveguard functionality, then look at the letters SL at the end of each part number. Okay? Guys, you're not going to remember it. Trust me, you'll be here tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow, on Monday, and you'll think, oh, what was that idiot talking about again? If you need any help, just give us a call. I was talking about Cliff when I said idiot, not me. Okay. Again, it comes in all different form factors. Okay. You've got your standard domes, your bullets, comes in both mini and standard size bullets, and your turret cameras. Okay. Thanks, Cliff. Okay. We also have a technology now called Colour View. Now, with current existing technology, we utilise IR to be able to video images at low light. Okay, and what that produces is a black and white image in front of the when the IR is turned on. And the reason why that is because IR does not have the ability to identify colour. Okay, now what it does is it causes things like reflection from particular objects, okay, as you've got in the number plate over there. Okay, so it's not a really good way to be able to identify something when there is low light. So if you look at this first picture, and it is quite difficult to see with the lighting, but there is actual person standing somewhere there, I think, right? And I'll show you the difference in a little while. Okay, with the second picture, that person is holding, I think she's holding some fruit, okay, but we can't identify what that is. Now with fruit, doesn't mean much because if someone pinches a tomato, it's not going to break anyone's bank or anything like that. But if it's a diamond ring, then it could mean the difference between significant shrinkage for that particular jewellery store and being able to sell that stock and make a profit. Okay, and if we're looking at the third picture, we can clearly identify that there's a light car and a dark car there. I'm a car fanatic. I know that that's a Ford Mondeo, and I know that's a Chevy, or it's some type of Chev, okay? But I cannot clearly identify that car. There is absolutely no way that anyone is going to be able to identify those number plates, okay? Hit the button, Cliff. Now, if we go to exactly the same pictures, but using our Colour View technology, we're clearly able to identify that there's a person there. If we were using a 8 megapixel camera, so a 4K camera, not only will we be able to identify that there's a person there, but during playback, we'd be able to identify the person's face because we can zoom in during playback. And that's the main reason why we utilise 8 megapixel or 4K over any other resolution, okay? In the second picture, now we can see that she's clearly got tomatoes in her hands. I think they're tomatoes anyway. Okay, again, with the tomatoes, it doesn't mean much, but if it was something worth of value, we'd be able to see that if she was going to hide that under a sleeve or what have you and walk out, we can clearly identify it and we'd be able to use it in a court environment. Okay, with the third picture, again, not only now can we identify the make and the model of the car, we can identify the colour and most importantly, the registration number of that vehicle as well. Okay, again, if we were utilising an 8 megapixel camera, we'd be able to zoom in playback and clearly identify what that registration number was. Thanks, Cliff. Oh, guys, actually, I'm just going to talk to you. No, it's all right, stay where you are. I'm just going to talk to you about what the Colour View camera does, okay? Rather than going into IR, it leaves the aperture open. Now, we've developed a algorithm that allows us to be able to leave the aperture open and not give you a blurry picture. With a standard camera, if you leave the aperture open, that's what happens is when someone's moving, the picture becomes very blurry. So what we've done is we've developed a technology that allows you to have quite a clear picture and be able to get a minimal amount of light into the lens to be able to keep the picture in color rather than go black and white. Okay. Also on our cameras, we have a what we call a white light technology. So instead of using IR, it produces a white light. So if you've got no light whatsoever in an environment and you need to utilize color pictures at night, then you can utilize the white light coming from the camera. And we can set that up so that when there is motion in front of the camera, the actual white light turns on. When there is no motion in front of the camera, the white light's out. Okay? The only problem with that being that the person who's being filmed, it's probably a deterrent as well, can see, oh, hang on, that light's going on, they're videoing me. So worst case scenario, they're just going to get out anyway. Okay. Now, all of our color view cameras have the AccuSense technology, so keep that in mind. Sorry. All of our Generation 2 color view cameras have the AccuSense technology. And this is one of the reasons why I said always go Generation 2. Okay, so we're able to, even though we're using color view, we're able to still determine the difference between a person and a vehicle, and we're still going to reduce the number of false alarms being caused by rain or maybe a shadow. Okay, thanks, Cliff. Okay, we also have, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, we also have the ability to have a color view camera, Generation 2 camera, in 4K resolution. Okay, so what that means is this is a picture of WA. I think it's in the city of WA. And guys, don't quote me on that. I saw the picture last Thursday or Friday last week.
No, I think it's Asia. Because it's got Asia.
I thought it was too. I disagree. I saw a picture coming from the West Coast Eagles were playing someone on Friday night. Maybe, I think it was Friday night. And I saw the same picture and I thought, oh, that's where they're taking us from WA. You don't think so? Anyway, wherever it's from, it's from. All right, next one, Cliff, next one. So what we're able to do is with a 4K image, we're able to pick a particular area. Now, guys, remember, 9 o'clock at night, okay? This is no tricks. This is the way it is, okay? So we're looking at clear, colourful pictures at night. We're able to zoom into that area during playback, and that's the kind of result you're going to get. I'll be honest with you, because we're using a projector, that's not half as good as what it actually is. Okay, the clarity of the picture is quite outstanding, which you would never have got before from even a 4K camera at night when you're using IR. Thanks, Cliff. Okay, just our product family in our Generation 2. Just a couple of things. I'm not going to go through all of them, guys. Remember I spoke about the number 6 for your AccuSense technology or for your AI technology. For color view, it's the number 7 before the G2. Okay, if you need something in 8 megapixel or 4K, then it only, at the moment, is only available in the bullets. So we can see here, we don't have a dome or a turret in the actual, in 4K. They all have the ability to use white light. And actually one thing that I forgot to mention in my previous, the previous session, color view is only available in a fixed lens. Okay, just keep that in mind. We don't have a motorized lens in color view at the moment. With the AccuSense stuff, yes, we do. We've got fixed and motorized lenses. Okay, thanks, Cliff. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about our video intercom range. So what we've done is we've developed, and this Generation 2 video intercom range has been around for about a year and a half, getting close to 2 years, okay? And what it does is it's a video intercom system that utilises our Ethernet technology or Ethernet backbone, okay? And we utilise PoE switches, so power over Ethernet, to run and to send the data to both our monitors and our door stations, okay? We can do up to 1,000 devices in the one building, utilising Ethernet technology, okay, or Ethernet infrastructure, I should say. Now, what we're also able to do is we're able to connect particular cameras and link them to particular monitors. So what that means is if you're in an apartment complex with, say, 200 apartments, you're able to link that person's parking spot to a particular monitor. Okay. We're also able to connect up to 9 door stations in the one building as well. Okay. Now those 9 door stations are included in the total of 1,000 devices. We also use the same technology, go on mate, yeah, in a 2-wire intercom. So it is still an IP system. It can still do the connection to your HiConnect app, exactly like the previous one. The specifications are exactly the same. The only difference is we utilise 2-wire infrastructure in a retrofit environment. So you might have an existing analog system in there and you want to put or replace it with something else. You don't have to go and rerun all of the cables. You can utilise our 2-wire intercom system rather than recabling and starting from scratch. Okay. As far as the number of devices are concerned, it's exactly the same as the previous slide. The only difference is we utilise these 2-wire IP distributors rather than the PoE switches that I showed you earlier. And the only limitation is the thickness of the cable compared to the length of the cable. So if you have got an environment where you think it's a large apartment complex and you need to connect a 2-wire system in that environment, either let Ness or Hikvision know, and we'll make sure that the cable length compared to the thickness of the cable fits and is going to work. The solution is going to work for you. Thanks, Cliff. Okay, now with the monitors that I showed you earlier, they were these monitors here. They run on what we call a Linux operating system. And the problem with it being is it is closed to that particular function. So what I'm saying is that unit will work on that intercom system and that's all it does. Okay? If you need something to be able to be connected to a home automation system, then what we've done is we've developed the same type of unit, which is this unit here, okay? And it comes in both 7 and 10-inch size. And it has the ability, it utilises an Android operating system. So what that means is you can upload or download the actual application. It might be CBus, it might be Control4 or any other home automation system, home automation package or application on the unit, and you're able to do things like controlling your lights, controlling maybe your blinds or even your stereo system. Okay, so if you need that ability, we're installing these in a lot of the upper class apartment complexes. I know there's one in St Kilda Road, just not far from Luna Park, that we're installing one of these in at the moment. Okay, so if you need that application, we've got something that will fit that particular situation. Okay, it also gives you the ability to connect and arm and disarm our AX Pro alarm system, which I'll talk to you a little bit about later. Go on, Cliff. Okay, the product family, guys, we could go on for this for hours, and you're not going to remember any of the product names or anything like that. So the thing that I want to point out here is we do have a couple of facial recognition terminals, which before COVID, we'd sold very few of them. Okay, now because of COVID, a lot of people are wanting something that's completely touchless. So what our facial recognition terminal enables you to do is if you're a resident of the premises, it reads your face and opens the door, gives you access immediately. If you're not a resident, so if you're a visitor, it reads your face, recognises or doesn't recognise you, and then will give you a keypad, or you can set up a hotkey so that you can actually press the button to go to a particular monitor or apartment, okay, or dwelling, okay. We've got that in both a touch screen, and we've also got a single screen with the keypad underneath. I've got two here that are neither. So the touch screen that we've got that you can see there is a 10-inch version. We've also got a 7-inch version, which is this one here. We've got a 4.5-inch that's a touchpad as well, or a touch screen as well. And we've also got another 4.5-inch with a keypad underneath. Okay, this one is the underneath part, the keypad is quite plasticky, just so that you know. Everything else is glass, as you can see there. Go on, Cliff. Actually, go back. If you have a scenario where you want to use a single dwelling or maybe a townhouse. They don't want to use an indoor monitor. They want the unit to go directly from the door station to the Hike Connect app. We have that solution. We've got two solutions. It's these two here. Okay, so the ones that you want, and you won't remember this, but just for the sake of telling you, it's the top one, the KV8113WME1, and the bottom one here, the KV6113WPE1. Okay, they look slightly different. Okay, they do the same functionality, but they are able to connect to your Hike Connect app without the use of an indoor monitor, much like a Ring system, if you've seen a Ring system before. Thanks, Cliff. Okay, a little bit about our intrusion system or our alarm panel. Okay, we've got a wireless alarm panel called the AX Pro Hub. Okay, it's able to be connected to a number of different inputs and outputs, all utilising 433 megahertz radio frequency. We're able to also connect it to our CCTV system or our surveillance system, utilising the cloud. Now remember, no information, no footage is being kept there. It's just routing the information to either a mobile phone, or alternatively, you can send it to a monitoring station or a monitoring centre. Okay, if we have a range that exceeds 1.1 kilometres, now that is line of sight, guys. So if there's a wall there, that reduces. Okay, I don't know why, but every time we talk about wireless alarm systems, the range is calculated without any walls. I've never seen a house that's got no walls, but that's the way they do it. Okay, but if you've got a commercial application and you're not having sufficient range to get from the AX Pro Hub to the PIR, then you can connect a maximum of 4 repeaters on the one system to be able to give you that range. Okay, we also have a technology called Intruder Verification as a Service, so IVAAS for short. Now what that does is that enables us to connect a camera to our AX Pro unit. Okay, so what that means is if there is an alert or there is an alarm triggered, what we can do is we can actually go into the system and view live footage of the person walking in or breaking into the home from our mobile phone app. There are 2 ways that we can do this. The first way is by utilising a Hikvision camera, IP camera I should say. It'll go through the cloud and directly to your hub, AX Pro Hub alarm system. If you've got a third-party IP camera, it'll still do the same thing. The only difference is rather than going through the cloud, you need to go through a switch, a PoE switch. Okay, you connect that directly to the hub, and then it will send all of the information, all of the footage, to our Hike Connect app via the cloud. Thanks, Cliff.
Sorry, just excuse me. Sorry, just one question.
Does
that work in reverse? Say if you've got line crossing detection on the camera, will that enable the alarm to go off?
In this scenario, in the first scenario you're talking about,
yes.
We can do that, can't we, Samuel? If we've got yeah, we can. So if we've got an AccuSense camera and someone, or a Liveguard camera, and they trigger an alarm, it'll actually go to the Hike Connect app, but we don't even need the alarm system to do that. If you're using the Liveguard camera. Right. But it must be a Liveguard camera. It can't just be a standard or an AccuSense camera. Yeah. Okay. Just one other thing, guys. If we're using the option 2, we can connect up to four cameras only. Okay. And the footage, the stream, is a maximum of 7 seconds. Okay. So what that means is, and we can set that up. We can set it up so that you have 2 seconds before it's triggered and 5 seconds after, or you can set it up 5 seconds before and 2 seconds after an alarm is triggered. The reason why we can do it before, is we can't go back in time, is the camera is recording all the time. Okay, and then we just go back for the 2 seconds before the trigger is set. Thanks, mate. Okay, guys, I'm not going to go over everything. Just with our capacity, the system has dual SIM cards. So if you need a level of redundancy, you can stick 2 different brand of SIM cards, might be Telstra and Optus or Telstra and Vodafone or what have you, on the actual the hub itself. You can have up to 48 users, with one of them being admin and 1 installer, and 46 just standard users. You can have up to 96 inputs and outputs. And guys, the rest is there, so I don't have to go through them all. You can do up to 32 areas, which I didn't mention before, and you can save up to 5,000 log files on the hub system. Thanks, Cliff.
Just a quick question, sorry. So
You're full of questions now, Mars. Sorry?
How many zones in total? You've got 32 areas, how many zones?
96.
96 zones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do the wireless repeaters take up a zone?
Yes. The wireless repeater won't take up a zone, but the actual zones running off it will.
And the siren takes up a zone?
Yes. Okay. Go back a bit, Cliff. No, sorry, it won't take up an input or output zone. It'll actually take out a sounder zone. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all right. Oh, guys, thanks, mate. That's it. So what we'll do now is we'll have a live demo.